Alright, easy recipe this week. Orc bacon. This is an easy baked bacon recipe in the Hero's Cookbook. This recipe is great for a crowd, or if, for instance, you have leftover bacon from, say, another recipe. First, set your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or 190 Celsius. Use convection if you have it. Now, line a baking tray with aluminum foil. This will make it so you don't have to scrape off essentially burned caramel from your trays, which is not fun, trust me. You'll want to use a rack for better air circulation. If you don't have one, you can instead use some extra foil and crumple it up so that the bacon lies above any fat or excess glaze that drips off. Next, the bacon. The book calls for a pound of thick cut bacon, but you could easily scale this up or down depending on your needs. Go ahead and lay them on your rack and don't be afraid to get them close together. They'll shrink a ton as the proteins contract and the fat renders. Once your oven is up to temp, go ahead and slide the bacon in so we can prepare the glaze, which actually makes this recipe a recipe and not just baked bacon. Alright, the book calls for half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar, and what I think is the weirdest ingredient, 2 tablespoons of orange juice. I don't know. I don't usually make many glazes. Maybe you professional glazers out there can let me know if orange juice is a common ingredient. Let no one say I don't grind my own black pepper. Whole spices last forever, and this way I can control the mill better. I used a rougher mill for this recipe. It really breaks up the surface of the bacon, and you end up with large pieces of black pepper for more interesting bites. Anyways, go ahead and mix all the ingredients into your bowl. There goes your orange juice. I totally didn't buy an entire carton of juice just so I could use a measly 2 tablespoons. Stir until the brown sugar is dissolved. Don't worry about the color, it'll look great once it's glazed on the bacon. I'm just going to give this a taste to adjust for. Ugh! Oh, that's absolutely vile. Yeah, all the flavors are way too intense to reasonably adjust. I should not have done that. How's our bacon doing? Oh, look at that. Look how much our bacon has shrunk. Remember how tightly we packed them before? They've contracted a ton as they've cooked. Once they're about 80% done, we'll pull the rack out and start coating them with our glaze. I'm using the back of a spoon. You could use a brush if you wanted to, but I don't want to clean more dishes than I have to. You'll use about half the glaze here. Go ahead and slide the bacon back in and keep an eye on it. If you're not careful, the sugars will burn. After 6 minutes or so, pull the bacon out and flip them with some tongs. You'll want to use the rest of the glaze here. Then return to the oven. A little less time, maybe 5 or so minutes, and there you go. Once you're happy with the color, you can go ahead and remove them from the oven and serve. Hero's Feast has a picture of the bacon being served in a tankard lined with paper, so I'm gonna do the same thing. After all, who am I to argue with the experts on how orcs serve their appetizers? I was hesitant about the glaze when I tasted it back there, but all of that evaporated when I bit into this. This is an absolutely delicious snack to serve for a group. Quite frankly, I probably could have eaten this entire pound of bacon by myself. I'll have to try making it at some point without the orange juice, just to see if it really makes a difference. Frankly, you're lucky I could restrain myself enough to get this shot. Enjoy.